Back 4 Blood is a tense, cooperative first-person shooter from the makers of the widely popular Left 4 Dead series. With humanity's survival at stake, it's up to you and your comrades to confront the enemy, exterminate the Ridden, and recapture the planet. Here's how the Back 4 Blood game is going to change everything. What you need to know about Back 4 Blood. Back 4 Blood's early access beta ended on Monday, August 9th, and after 4 days of non-stop zombie slaughter, we've got some quick thoughts on how it's shaping up. In short, if the game launches in some US states in October as planned, it'll undoubtedly be entertaining and engaging enough to justify rounding up 3 fens for a weekend or 2. But to be worthy successor to the Left 4 Dead games that keeps you coming back for years, they'll benefit from a further delay to iron out some major issues and launch in a more complete state. It's apparently not a sequel to Left 4 Dead. The sooner you recognize that Back 4 Blood is not the same as Left 4 Dead, the better. 4-player co-op zombie shooter is pretty much it. A lot of components will be familiar at first glance. Safe rooms at the beginning and conclusion of chapters, Molotovs and pipe bombs, unique zombies with skills similar to the Boomer, Smoker, and Spitter, and so on. However, the total number of direct similarities can possibly be counted on one hand. Gameplay. After the title screen, you'll immediately be in first-person perspective and in command of a character at some type of base camp, which is already a departure from L4D. You can sprint instead of walking, and as you pick up a gun, you'll be able to aim down sights like any other current shooter. There's this whole issue about decks and cards, but don't worry about that just yet. Back 4 Blood kind of follows in the footsteps of Left 4 Dead, requiring you to fight your way through a story campaign in 4-player teams, shooting hordes of zombies while desperately trying to make it from one safe room to the next. The look and feel of the game as well as the early gameplay are almost identical to those of Left 4 Dead, however things quickly became more fascinating. When I went to make a match for the first chapter of the campaign story mode, I was asked to choose which cleaner I wanted to play as before choosing my deck. This is a significant distinction between it and Left 4 Dead. Previously, character selection was solely aesthetic. Now, the cleaner survivor you choose has a variety of bonuses that may be customized using the game card system. At the start of each match, these randomly produced cards are drawn, changing the game's mechanics or providing randomized rewards. For example, I might choose between improving my stamina or acquiring additional health from medipacks. Then there were cards that allowed me to gain extra ammo or enhance my stats when I was low on health. Back 4 Blood will eventually allow you to choose from 8 different characters, although the beta offers only a small variety. Hoffman, a typical middle-aged white guy with a predilection for conspiracy theories, was my choice. The game then put me in a post-apocalyptic tiny village and gave me and my brave companions different tasks to complete before reaching a safe chamber at the far end of the map. While this may sound familiar, games have been following this model since the release of Left 4 Dead 1. Everything from Back 4 Blood felt fresh, with the Turtle Rock Studios team adding many subtle variations to the format. To begin with, weaponry is now far more varied and customizable. This means you'll be able to locate a wide range of SMGs, shotguns, handguns, assault rifles, sniper rifles, and melee weapons. They're even color-coded according to rarity. Each gun may be customized further with accessories, giving it a looter-shooter feel similar to Borderlands 3. There's a strong incentive to repeat missions at higher difficulties because new stuff is always available. The game rewards you with fresh perks to add to your loadouts at the end of each successful run, which is facilitated by the card system. The game's excellent shooting mechanics add to its replayability, with each pistol having its own weight and satisfying fire function that makes blasting the arms or face off an incoming zombie a lot of fun. In this aspect, Left 4 Dead feels a bit old, so it's a pleasant upgrade. Though the beta is far from complete, the range of opponents on display amazed me. Various Hero-Ridden, the game's name for zombies, appear in the game. The beta doesn't feature the entire roster, but I've seen Stinger, Reeker, Tallboy, and Snitcher kinds, as well as a few unique bosses, such as a 3-story tall Ridden who can walk over big trucks. Like Left 4 Dead, each Hero-Ridden has a unique special attack. The Tallboy, for example, is essentially a giant with a club for an arm capable of sending cleaners flying with a single whack. The game is challenging. There are 3 difficulty levels in the beta, which can be characterized as follows. Survivor is extra forgiving for those who just want to watch the game. Veteran is a huge difficulty spike that requires everyone to have a basic understanding of the mechanics and level layouts. And Nightmare is relentlessly punishing even for highly coordinated and patient teams that communicate and plan out every step. Most gamers will probably go toward Veteran as a happy medium for experience that is still hard without being completely impenetrable. Nightmare's ridiculous challenge is actually beneficial to the game's durability. Given the recent industry trend of games being built to be more beginner-friendly, it's reassuring to know that AAA games ready to offer a level of severe struggle that hardcore players can sink their teeth into still exists. However, poor design decisions are a big cause of trouble. B4B isn't particularly forthcoming about how most of its mechanics function, so you'll have to rely on word of mouth or learn the hard way through trial and error. Trauma is crucial to manage. Effectively, it's permanent damage that builds separately from normal damage. Transfers over chapters and caps your maximum health at 35% at worst. But nearly no one grasps these details at first. Wall-mounted medicine cabinets can restore some trauma for a fee, but the game should make this very obvious. Even if you think you know everything there is to know about the game, you'll occasionally feel tricked by incurring excessive damage, owing to network latency, or accidentally activating a horde because one of your shotgun rounds touched a flock of birds 50 meters away. We're not going to pretend that the L4D games were perfect and without hiccups, but they did have a far more seamless onboarding process. Playing against someone else. Even if it lacks the same diversity of settings as Left 4 Dead, the variety of hero-ridden on offer may be optimistic about Back 4 Blood's player versus player multiplayer. Only a Swarm PvP mode is available during the beta and initial launch, and it's completely independent from the main storyline. The mode divides you into 4 teams of 4, which each round alternating between playing as Ridden or survivors. The human goal is to survive as long as possible on a sandbox map, while the Ridden try to kill them. When a bonus stressor as a locust-style swarm spreads into the area, the map size shrinks the longer you survive. Weapons and materials to aid the survivors are strewn over the map. The unique Ridden are also a lot of fun to play and have a lot of modification choices. There's nothing quite like playing as a Reeker and destroying numerous enemies at once with a well-timed self-destruct blast. With the maps now available, the PvP multiplayer, on the other hand, may be short-lived. I've already noticed players who had figured out the greatest choke places to camp at as humans after a few hours, making it frustrating to play. It's also one of the reasons I haven't seen anyone finish a full game of Swarm, with rage quits being common throughout my time with the beta. I can't help but think that if PvP campaign mode, with the mode's very nature encouraging people to venture out and not camp, might help remedy this, it should hopefully be addressed in the main game. Release date. This year, Back 4 Blood will be launched on October 12th. It'll be available on the Microsoft Store, Steam, and the Epic Games Store for Xbox One, Xbox 360, and Xbox One S consoles, as well as PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, and PC platforms via the Microsoft Store, Steam, and the Epic Games Store. Pricing. Back 4 Blood will be available in 3 editions, Standard, Deluxe, and Ultimate. Standard Edition will cost $59.99, while the Deluxe Edition will cost $89.99, and the Ultimate Edition will be $99.99. Prices vary slightly across the pond, but the standard edition of the game is presently £59.99, and the deluxe edition is £89.99, and the ultimate edition is £99.99 in the Microsoft shop. Meanwhile, the game is only selling the standard and deluxe editions of the PlayStation versions, which cost £54.99 and £79.99 respectively. Back 4 Blood promises to keep you royally entertained and is essentially good news for zombie fans. The release of the game is expected to make quite the splash in the gaming market, but gaming experts and gamers are rarely in agreement. Do you know about B4B? Do you want to play the game? Do you think B4B has enough to keep you playing for a long time?